All right, don't panic when you look at this spreadsheet. You're not going to have to type all of it. You're actually going to download it, and most of it's already going to be completed. You're just going to have to do July and part of June, so there's not going to be that much typing. Um, the point of this spreadsheet is to show you something called fill across. Up to this point, we've been learning how to put in different formulas and functions, and I think most of you are starting to get pretty good at it. But there are some tricks that help to save time because spreadsheets in some cases are um, very large, and if you had to type in the formula for every single cell, it would take you forever. Let's look at what we have here. This is monthly expenses for, could be a family. Um, the very first formula, it's actually a function, is down here. We've got our total for January. If we click in here, we'll see that the sum function was used. Okay? Now, when you're moving horizontally, which is side to side, and you know the same formula is going to go into these cells, then you can do something called fill across. Now, the formula, even though it's the same, it's what we call a relative formula, because obviously if you put equal sum and in parentheses B2 colon B27, if you put that over here under February, you get the exact same answer. But what it's going to do is it's going to automatically switch to C2 to C27 and then D2 to D27. So it automatically makes the adjustment so that in January, it's going to add that range, and then February, it'll add that range, and March, and so on and so forth. The key, though, is your very first formula, and you're not going to have to type this one today because it's already in there for you, but your very first formula has to be correct. There's an old saying in the business world, garbage in, garbage out. If you mistype this formula and then you do the fill across, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, then what you're going to do is you're just making a copy of a bad formula and you're going to get a bad answer. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to download the file. I will give you a sheet of paper and you will type in what's missing so that when you're done, it should look exactly like this. Now, here's the cool part. We come over here and we click to make sure that the function is showing up here. This is our entry bar here. We got to make sure that the function's there. Now, you're going to come down here with your mouse, and if you'll notice in the lower right corner of the cell is like a little dot. You've got to place your mouse directly on that dot. Notice see how it changes shape? When it goes to that little plus sign, okay, we're going to hold down the left button and we're going to drag straight across, and it's going to fill across, and it's going to put it makes a copy of the formula basically, but it makes a relative copy so that it's doing these ranges. Now, hopefully you remember what the pound symbol means. It simply means that you need to come up here, double click, because it's just too narrow to fit the number, and that's why it shows pound symbols. But this is a shortcut. But once again, let me remind you that in order to use the shortcut, you have to put the formula or the function, whichever you happen to be using, that has to be put in correctly. Okay? All right, I'm going to delete this and I'll show it to you again. All right, we put our mouse right on the lower right corner of that cell. We hold the left button down. We drag straight across and let go. And and it automatically, when you click in here, you'll see that it has automatically made the adjustment. See, it's C2 to C27. This one, D2 to D27. E2 to E27, so on and so forth. This particular spreadsheet could have been 3 years worth, and we could have done the same thing. As long as everything is aligned correctly, it'll work. So, when you're finished, this is what it should look like. Your function should be at the bottom and the totals for each month. You're going to type in what's missing, and then you should be ready to submit it. Okay, that's all there is to this one. All right, see you next time. Bye.